welcome back to my channel. So today I have another interesting topic here on my channel. It's going to be a very honest discussion that I'll be having here with a friend of mine who is visiting Ireland this beautiful weekend. So this weekend we're actually somewhere called Drogheda. We're spending the weekend here at a friend's house, and my friend here, Ziggy, is all the way from, she's Nigerian. She's Irish Nigerian.
I'm Irish.
Now living in Canada.
Citizen of the world.
Exactly. Exactly. You've left us here to go to another level of abroad, but it's all right. It's okay. We are coming up
Slowly.
So Ziggy used to live in Ireland about
6 years.
for 6 years. Yeah,
Yeah.
she stayed here for 6 years. And when I was coming in 2015, she eventually got to live in 2016, and she's been living in Canada ever since then. She practiced in this country too as a medical radiographer, which I also am here in Ireland, and so she's had kind of like a broad experience of the world.
Yep.
According to the traveler's scheme of things.
In Irish and Canada. Only.
So I just invited her today to have a quick chat about what life is like here for her in Ireland versus what it is like for her now in Canada. So let's get to the video of the day, and thank you for coming so much. Thank you so much for coming here today.
Thanks for having me.
Yes. So can you just share an insight of what exactly it has been for you so far in Canada versus life that you got to experience here in Ireland?
In a general note, well, Canada was very, for me personally, was
Canada
easy.
was or Canada is?
Well, back when I moved, it was easier for me to adjust to life in Canada.
Okay.
More than it was for me here.
Will you say it might probably
because I've already been here? Because when I was here, I came straight from Nigeria. Yes, so I had no idea what anything
their
was.
abroad life was like.
Yeah, and then being in Ireland, working in Ireland, showed me a lot of things. Yeah, so it was easier for me to integrate and get into. And I moved to Canada in January, started working in March of 2016. So it was easier for me to get into the system. The practice there is a little similar to what's here, so it was quite easy for me to get into the system. Yeah.
Things. Okay.
Yeah, and then when it comes to like life in general, I found some things were more expensive, some things were different than it was here, so that I needed to adjust to.
Things like what?
Housing. In Ireland I lived in a county, like what you call a village.
Okay.
Here, yeah, in Ireland, in Mallow, in County Cork. That's where I lived. I lived in a few places. I lived in Limerick and Tralee, but I lived in Mallow the longest. And I was living in a 3-bedroom house, and rent was so much cheaper than what I'm paying now in Canada for an apartment. Like, money-wise, I think...
So where do you live in Canada now? Like,
I live in Victoria, in the province of British Columbia. So, yeah. So life in Victoria especially is quite expensive, so that was difficult for me. Is it like the sunny
side of things?
Victoria it has the best weather in the whole of Canada. Victoria.
So you actually specifically went to the place
to the best one.
Were you particularly looking for?
No, actually, I got a job in Victoria, and that's why I moved there. I moved to BC. And then I just started applying for jobs everywhere. So within a couple of weeks, someone called me from Victoria. I didn't even know where Victoria was. I had to go into a ferry because it's like an island. So you have to go.
Sorry about the sunshine. It keeps going like back and forth.
Yeah, just try and ignore the squinting that we're doing. So yeah, so I discovered Victoria because I got a job there, and I just fell in love with the places. And Ireland, we're surrounded by the Pacific Ocean. It's beautiful, but it's really, really expensive.
I should visit soon enough.
You should. Especially Irish lady.
A passport.
She's Irish now.
All I have to do is just get an Irish ticket.
Yeah. Well, you still need to do. There's this little thing you fill online before you come to Canada.
So I've not finished this race yet.
It's not like visa. It's just form. Fill. My name is this and this is this, and click, and you now go.
Okay.
Even it's like what the US has to, like ESTA or whatever they call it. Okay. Anyway, so yeah, that was my whole adjustment process. The cost of living is much higher
in Canada
now. Yeah.
Oh.
Well, in Victoria.
Victoria.
It's quite expensive.
Okay. And then the people.
Yeah, there's more diversity in Canada, and I love that. Canada is such an immigrant.
So immigration is more
friendly.
acceptable there. Not like it's not acceptable here, but
and the way they handle their immigration, it's very Well, generally speaking, like permanent residents, they go for the best. Canada is like qualification based. You have to have something to offer to come. So it's almost like they are really smart. They get the best from the countries that they are taking from.
Which
so
I think is very beautiful.
Yeah, because you come in and you're contributing to the economy.
Because like the way they describe it is like, okay, there's a province that seems to just be empty, and then they try to just invite immigrants to come into the place because they don't have enough people.
Yeah, like their express entry, they have professions that's like, if there's a point-based system, so based on your profession, if your profession is kind of the highly sought after, you have a higher score. So they give you points.
Do you have Irish people living there? For those that love to come and tell me, go back to your country.
If all the Irish in Canada go back to their country, Canada is finished. Yeah, there's Irish people everywhere. There's a pub really close to my house. There's Irish. St. Patrick's Day in Victoria. There's Irish everywhere. So.
Because I remember my last job, or at least my first job here, one thing I got to notice was that almost every day we had like Irish people coming in for x-rays or chest x-rays to migrate to Canada. New Zealand, Canada, Australia, those are like the hot countries in the world now that people are running off to.
Yeah.
So
Canada is very immigration centered, so you see a mix of a lot of people. There's lots of Asians in Canada, like Southeastern Asians. There's Indian and there's Chinese.
But do you ever feel they're going to get to the point where it's going to be like, this is just ridiculously too much?
Yeah, I do. Especially, well, now it's being ruled by the Liberal government, and just like the general thing you would know about Liberals want to just take everybody in. So if the Conservative come in, I feel immigration is going to
tighten up.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so if you want to do it now. This is the time. But yeah, Canada is really, as an immigrant, I felt really welcome. And you know, Canadians have this reputation for being nice, and it's true. Canadians are generally really nice people. Of course, you'll always get the odd, and sometimes it's like almost fake niceness, but Canadians are, they will make you, even if it's not sincere, they'll make you feel really good about yourself. Canada is a place that I attend to a patient and they're leaving and they're like holding you and looking into your eyes and telling you thank you so much.
I get that here too.
Oh, thank you. See, it's because you live in Dublin. I was living in village. Nobody told me thank you in the village. They'll be like, why are you here? What are you doing here? Where did you learn how to speak English? Nobody did that for me. But yeah, in Canada they are really sweet. I worked on Christmas Day and someone came in with a whole box of chocolates. Just a patient, not anyone knew. So they are just like that. They're very, I don't know. So
considering that we're in the same profession, which is radiography, and you have specialized in breast screening here, right now you're no longer doing screening.
Yeah,
breast.
For the past year.
Okay.
I stopped, yeah. So I did breast cancer.
So what are you doing now?
I'm doing MRI, so I specialize in MRI.
The big dogs.
Hello. But yeah, I went there and I still did breast cancer screening for 2 years, and then I moved to MRI, which is what I do now full time.
And professionally, pay-wise, what's the difference? Should I start packing my bag now to collect all the money in Canada?
Stay here. Stay here.
Because I'm looking
the
for
thing
money.
Is, first of all, Canadian dollar.
Here. I'm looking for money.
You're just all your Irishness. You're still a Niger girl.
Anyway,
pay-wise, yeah, Canada pays well, but I think Ireland still pays better. And because the Canadian dollar doesn't have as much value as the euro, so by the time you convert and check how much you spend on housing and how much you spend on feeding, you get to save much more here. So if money, like if you want to build a good financial base, you should stay here.
But it depends on your profession.
It depends on the profession.
I mean, like doctors are here.
For someone who's, well, doctors earn a lot in Canada.
But for doctors, I hear like, it's not like here where you can just come like as a fresh doctor and start earning all the money. Like you have to have gone through the training.
It's very difficult to get into as an internationally trained
Is it really difficult?
Doctor.
Because I've seen lots of people who have lived in Canada. Like I have a couple of friends who have lived in Canada. They weren't practicing as doctors, and then they've come down to the UK
and they're working.
And now they're working. Now they've done their PLABs and then they're working.
If you're an internationally trained doctor, it's very difficult to get in. It's really, really, really hard.
So like exams.
There's exams that you take, and then if you want to get into a training program, it's like there's a small space, and then there's a million people trying to get into that tiny space.
So is that tiny millions? Oh, sorry, that tiny space, is it kept for a particular group of people?
They actually have, like in provinces, they have programs specifically for internationally trained doctors that you have to do. But it's almost like 3,000 people apply and there's space for 7 people or something like that. It's really tight. So unless you actually have a full training, that's what is required. If you have a full training in a particular field, especially like family practice is the easiest. If you need to have a full family practice
as a doctor.
Yeah, so it's not just that you're a doctor or medical practitioner. You have to have a completed training. You're like a fellow in a particular field, and then it's a little easier. But for you to get into the training to get to that point in Canada, it's really hard. Yeah. Okay, so but once you get in, the money is, oh my god,
it's breaking the chest.
Oh god, yeah, doctors in Canada do earn quite a bit, depending on the province, because in Canada it's almost like each province operates as a different country on its own. So depending on the province you are in, but yeah, the money is really good.
Crystal.
And another thing I would say about Canada, if you're not a medical professional, I feel like you have more opportunities in Canada. If you're not, yeah, like you have a better chance to get a good job.
Because here it's more like if you're a medical professional.
It's hard. Yeah, here if you're a medical professional, you will get a job eventually. But in Canada, the non-medical professionals who here will just maybe enter retail or not have a job, Canada you have more chances.
What group of professionals do you think are like really sought after in Canada? Like here it's more like medical, the ITs.
It's the same thing, engineers. In Canada. And then funnily enough, the technical, like the electrician kind of, those people that are into technical, plumbers. Oh god, those guys are people that are into construction, they make good money. Yeah.
Oh, the construction workers.
So that's one thing that was really different for me than here, because people that are into those kind of fields here is like you don't have anything to do. You just but in Canada there's more opportunities. So it's not just the medical professionals that work.
Okay, so before we get into like 20 minutes here, just help me round up, like what exactly do you miss? Do you think
about
you missed
Ireland?
So far about Ireland, considering
That's a good question. I miss, first and foremost, I miss the people, like the friends and the relationships I built here. I miss that so much. And I miss the little quips and the little thing the Irish say, like I still kept elevators, I kept calling it lifts. Like they say lift here, and in North America they say elevator. So each time I say lift, hey, the European, they just laugh at me. Or the Coke and Fanta you drink, they'll call it soda here. In Canada they call it pop. And then like you go to McDonald's, you call them chips, right? And they call them fries. So if you say
we still call them fries.
Here they call it chips, and crisp is like the snack you eat.
Crisp is the flats.
Yeah, the snack you eat. Snacks. In Canada they'll call that chips. And then the fries you buy, here they call it chips. Anyway, just those little quips. So sometimes I still catch myself saying the Irish slang, and no one in Canada knows what I'm talking about. Yeah, so I do miss that.
Anyways, sorry about all of this sunshine today, but we just had to shoot this video thanks to the sunshine. We just have to show itself.
Like my face is well lit and your face is like, yeah, move this way.
Anyways guys, I hope you have enjoyed this video today. I just thought that this was a topic that I should bring up and talk about, especially now that she's visiting us here. And I hope that you got to enjoy this one. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel, like this video, and leave a comment down below. And until I see you next time on another video, take care of yourselves guys.
Bye. This was fun.